or a stranger is following them, perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People's City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I'm Chris Jackmick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackmick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Decking the halls with boughs of holly sure sounds great until you're the one who has to do it. Take the stress out of your holiday parties this year and host your gatherings at Suite A Events by Mary Ellen's. Suite A is the perfect place for your year-end company parties or other large gatherings. Suite A and Mary Ellen's can handle the food, the desserts, the decorations, and of course, those holiday spirits. See for yourself online at SuiteAEvents.com or at 27th and Pine Lake, right next to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People's City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
My name is Rebecca. I struggled with depression for years. I also smoked. That was my world. Finally, I realized that smoking wasn't helping me. It was making my life worse. So I took control and I quit. Now I'm able to run again and take walks with my grandkids. My tip is there's another world out there, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into another edition of Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. We're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey once again, and as always, I'm Joel Norman alongside the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky Russo. And Rocky, how are we doing here tonight? We are getting closer to Christmas, which I know is, based on the last month and a half of the show, your favorite time of the year.
What did I tell you when this thing started? That we were going to blink and all of a sudden it was going to be Christmas. You're going to blink again. It's going to be playoffs. Like, it's the life of a hockey coach, or in your position, a broadcaster, where you kind of live Groundhog Day every day, right? Like your weeks build up to your weekends, and then you have that Sunday off where you recoup, and then all of a sudden you're right back at it. And before you know it, you're a third of the way into the season. So based on the countdown that my daughter has at the house, there's 12 days left before Christmas, and we're excited about that. But we've got some work to do this weekend with the Tri-City Storm before we kick back and kind of get an opportunity to review the first portion of the season.
2 games of Tri-City coming up this weekend. Friday night will be at the Icebox at 7:05 p.m., and it's the ever-popular Teddy Bear Toss Night. Rocky, what are your memories of Teddy Bear Toss Nights over the years, whether it was with Amarillo, here in Lincoln, elsewhere? Take me through those.
You know what? I've been a part of a lot of Teddy Bear tosses, obviously 18 years of junior hockey. And, I've coached in small rinks where they had to lower the net so that they can throw the teddy bears over top of the net. I've coached in Amarillo where, we had to drive multiple pickup trucks on the ice to clean up all the bears. We had an awesome teddy bear toss last year. It was really exciting and a great turnout. I'm sure we're going to have another awesome crowd this weekend. And but they do create some anxiety for me. And that's because I will tell you that in my first year back in Amarillo as the head coach, we didn't have a good team. We were in a very much a rebuilding mode, and we got shut out on Teddy Bear Toss night. And in fact, we got a power play with about a minute and a half left in the game, and we were down 5-0, and I called timeout and I pulled the goalie in an attempt to try to score the Teddy Bear Toss goal. And the fans proceeded to throw the Bears on the ice as they booed us at the end of the game. So it's an anxious time for me. I just want the puck to go in the net as quickly as possible so that the Bears can come down and we can forget about it and we can move on. But I also know it's a wonderful cause, and we give back to the community action program here in Lincoln and to some underprivileged kids. So I think it's a great event for us.
Absolutely. It's an awesome event. The community action is a partnership that the Stars have had with. They've done some community service work with them this season. So a really important cause to the organization as well. And we're encouraging fans, if you've never been to one of these before, just bring a teddy bear to the game this Friday night and toss it onto the ice once the Lincoln Stars score that first goal of the game. It's going to happen, and we're hoping it's real early on, like Rocky was saying as well. Taking on Tri-City, who they just saw this past Saturday at home at the Icebox. And Rocky, there's been a few opponents on the schedule so far. It feels like every other week you and I are saying, taking on Tri-City tonight, taking on Omaha coming up here. And you mentioned this to me a little bit earlier today when we were talking. You said you'd like to see some other opponents on the schedule. So I want to play a little hypothetical here. If you were the schedule maker, what would it look like for not just the Lincoln Stars, but everyone in the USHL? Would you play everyone? Would you have just a few teams you would play from the other conference? How would that go?
I would play everyone. And I wouldn't obviously have a split schedule. We would play a predominantly Western Conference schedule, but I think we could make it work where we did 2 swings to the East Conference, and you're out there for 10 days, and you do 2 in Youngstown, you do 2 in Muskegon, then the next time you go out, you do 2 in Chicago, and you do 2 in Green Bay, and then you can do Cedar Rapids, you can do Dubuque without actually adding any more travel to our schedule. Mm-hmm. Then they reciprocate, and you get those teams coming out here, and maybe it's even 1-1. So you go to Youngstown on Friday, you go to Chicago on Saturday, you go to Muskegon on Friday, you go to Green Bay on Saturday. At least for our fans, number one, they get to see other teams, and that's how it was pre-COVID, right? They were venturing out and playing the Eastern Conference, and I think that, there's a number of factors that lead to where we got right now, financial implications and all of the rest of those things. We can have a whole separate conversation on that. But from a fan perspective, do you want to watch Lincoln and Tri-City 14 times out of 62 and then another 12 with Omaha? So you're talking about 26 of your 62 games are against two opponents, and they are our two closest opponents. So I do understand it, but I mean, Tri-City is just as far as Sioux City. Des Moines is only 3 hours. Sioux Falls is 4 hours. No, I hate that Sioux Falls trip because it's the day of a game and it's an all-day affair just to play one game. But I think it allows the guys to experience it more, and the road trips are really valuable. I thought when I was in the North American League, and we were on the road a ton, more than I want to be, don't get me wrong, but that experience in the hotels and on the buses, it helps bond your guys together and gives your culture time to grow. And we're very fortunate in the sense that we're only in a hotel maybe twice or three times all year. So that's great. We have the best travel in the whole league when you look at where we're located, but it'd be great to do some of those other things. And then obviously I'm from Youngstown.
You wouldn't mind going there then?
I coached the Youngstown Phantoms to start my career. I think there would maybe be more Lincoln Stars fans in the stands in Youngstown than Phantoms fans if we went to play there, but I'm kidding, obviously.
I'm going to hold you to that now if we ever go there,
Rocky. It would be close. I promise you it would be close. But I just think it would be such a cool experience. And I know our guys would love to get out and see some things. And not only that, but I look at last year's BioSteel game. And the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference play different hockey. And Aiden Thompson didn't make the BioSteel game last year. Like, it's bananas, but there's 4 or 5 guys from Muskegon, 4 or 5 guys from Chicago. They're playing 10 to 8 games in the Eastern Conference. There's, that's just a different brand of hockey. And so those guys, their numbers are eye popping, but obviously when you look at the National Hockey League draft, Aiden Thompson goes in the 3rd round and he's dominating college hockey as a freshman. Like, if that kid didn't deserve to be in the BioSteel game, they shouldn't have had the game. Because he was absolutely one of the best 12 or 13 forwards in this league last year, 3rd overall in scoring. So I think that has implications too. And I think that all of those factors really lead to us, hopefully optimistically getting into a scenario where we get to see some different teams on our schedule.
I'd love to hear what some fans have to say. This is something I get a lot from them, is why we play in Omaha and Tri-City so much. So if you're curious, if you haven't a thought on, what you'd like the Stars schedule to be like, maybe just to toss your ideas out there, give us a call on the Honda Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685, or maybe text us on that same line, the Sutter Hammond text line, 402-464-5685. I get that all the time from fans. Rocky, we're getting Omaha again. It's like they're excited, but it's one of those things where it's like, it would be nice to see some other teams. Give me one team. Who would you like to see the most? Is it NTDP or is it like Chicago Steel maybe?
I'd love to play the Steel, and I probably wouldn't get as excited about the national team because I've played against the national team a lot. They were in the North American League for a number of years, and so they were actually in the same division. We were in the North Division of the North American Hockey League when I was in Youngstown. We played their team when I was the head coach in Amarillo and beat them pretty at the NA Showcase. Actually, Caden Berko was on that team, so I had to razz him a little bit about that. He didn't play that game though. He always wanted to remind me of that. He was backing up that night, but
still beat his team though.
I did, yeah, we did. But I'd love to play Chicago. I'd love to play Muskegon. Obviously I'd love to play Youngstown. I'd love to get a flavor of the entire other side of this league. It's such a great league with so many great players that you want to be able to get experience in these other buildings. And the Resch Center in Green Bay is incredible, and the facilities in Muskegon are awesome. The Cavelli Center in Youngstown's awesome. Like, it'd be really cool for our guys to be able to experience that stuff and not just see the same things night in and night out.
Chatting Lincoln Stars hockey tonight on Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's. I'm Joel Norman alongside Rocky Russo, the head coach of the Stars, and we're talking a little bit about the schedule because the Stars are they're in the middle of a stretch right now where they play 3 consecutive games against the Tri-City Storm. It began this past Saturday, continues this weekend, and in fact, last Saturday was also the start of a 4 games of 5 coming up in which they face the Storm in all of them. So, Rocky, take me through that part next, where you're playing the same team a lot. I imagine the prep in general is, after a while, you kind of have a pretty good clue, especially with how much you've already played them already. How are you approaching it this week with having a pretty good idea of what they do? You can focus even more, I would imagine, on what you need to do.
You know what? It's nice for our staff because they're not preparing for 2 different opponents in a weekend. But there's only so many changes you're going to make because as coaches, we have certain things that we believe and certain ways we want to play. And so you're not going to completely uproot the way you want to play. You might alter some things and change your power play breakouts or change the way that you're forechecking or whatever. But the guts of your systems are going to stay in place. So Tri-City knows how we want to play. We know how Tri-City wants to play, and it becomes an execution thing. So, more importantly, when you play the same teams over and over again, you create bad blood. And bad blood leads to fights and leads to dirty hits and leads to suspensions. And I will tell you that, and this goes back to 2010 or 11 when I was in Amarillo, we played the Topeka Roadrunners 22 times in 1 year. And that was because of our regular season schedule, a 5-game playoff series, and then another game at the national tournament. And there were concussions, there were knocked out front teeth, there were serious injuries because the game was different 12 years ago, but they just got so heated and there was no time to relax and kind of let it simmer down. And when you have now 5 out of 6 against the same opponent, you run the risk of that potentially happening again. And then we take a weekend off, actually, if you looked ahead, and then we play them again.
Yeah.
So it's like we need to have a little foresight with the way that the schedule gets made next year. If we are in this same situation, playing them 12 or 14 times, got to find a way to spread these games out a little bit.
Let me bring our producer Harrison. I was just going to say, it sounds like he might have had an opinion. You've gone to some games. You've seen a few of the teams already. What's your take on something like this as a fan? Do you like to see the same teams because of those rivalries, or are you a little curious about what else the league has to offer?
Yeah, I do like it when you sprinkle them in, the rivals, but at the same time, I do want to get text line because Gene and Lincoln as well. I agree with him. But yeah, it's kind of funny because every now and then I'll ask you, be like, hey, what's going on? Or for tickets this weekend, and it'll be like, it's Tri-City again. I'm like, oh, it's the last one. But we do have Gene from Lincoln. He says, my vote is Rocky for scheduler. Especially last year, it would have been nice to see the development of the team. Last year with Rucker, this year with Nelly's brother. So Gene's kind of in the same schedule. He'd like to see a little bit more variation within the scheduling.
So that's one vote for Rocky then, right there, Rocky. We're going to see you on a ballot coming up here, maybe.
Well, I'd be happy to take on the task if that's what the league wanted or our organization wanted me to do. I actually did the schedule in Amarillo the entire time that I was head coach there. I did the schedule in Philly, so it wouldn't be foreign territory for me to do, but it's probably a little bit out of my purview here. Now, I can certainly stick my 2 cents in and have that conversation when the time comes again. And, if there's something there that we can do to have our fans enjoy the experience even more, then by all means, we'd want to find a way to do it.
Take fans behind the scenes there then, since you've made schedules before. How difficult is that? You're not just planning the other team's availability. Sometimes you're planning your own rinks availability. If there's other events going on, what was that like when you were making schedules before?
Well, in Amarillo, for instance, we have the rodeo comes into town in November, and the rodeo is a huge event. And so they actually take the ice out, and then they bring this dirt in. It's a 3-week process. By the time the ice is out and the dirt's in, they have the event, they clean it up. It smells like horse manure for the next month. There's flies everywhere, but we're cleaning dirt out of the craziest of places. But that was a time frame where I knew, hey, like I have to be on the road in this event. We didn't have practice ice there either. So wherever we were going, we had to have the ability to practice either there or close to there. And so now I'm arranging road trips where, we're playing in Corpus Christi, but they don't have the ice. I'm stopping and I'm staying 2 days in Austin or San Antonio and practicing there. And then you got to find stuff for the guys to do. So obviously we don't have that issue here in Lincoln. No. We're very fortunate, but there are a lot of facilities, Fargo, for instance, Sioux Falls, Sioux City, they're multi-purpose facilities. And so they're at the mercy of those facilities in a lot of cases. We're incredibly lucky that our ownership operates this facility and it is a Stars First facility. So I don't take that for granted. I've lived that other life and I don't appreciate it. So, but you still find a way. And I look at, perfect example of we're on the road on Friday in Sioux Falls. That's a really challenging trip.
Yeah, it is.
And you leave at 11:30 in the morning and you drive to Sioux City and you stop and you have dinner and you're back on the bus and you get to the rink and then you play and you don't get home till 2:00 in the morning. And then you've got a 6 p.m. game the next night. Like, those are hard trips for these guys. And that's part of junior hockey. I'm not making any excuses, but they're challenging trips. And so, if I'm making the schedule, maybe I'm looking and going, is there a way that one of those 6 games we've already played against Omaha can be on that Friday night? And maybe one of those single game weekends that we had a month and a half ago or 2 months ago against Omaha could have been up to Sioux Falls. Like, maybe that's not possible. I don't know. But those are that I would think of it and look at it as a coach. Now you also have to take the view of, what nights are really good for us in our building. These are our priority nights where we know we can get great crowds, where we have promotions lined up. You've got Princess Night and this and that. Those are nights that you have to lock in for home games. So there are a lot of variables, and I'm not sitting here saying that this is an easy fix, right? I'm very well aware of the challenges that are presented when you try to make a schedule, and I don't envy the folks that are doing it. I just wish that there was a way where we could create more parity.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to get the text line
Go
again
ahead.
here because you might be in trouble with the scheduling, because you do got BA says another vote for Rocky doing the scheduling. And then Gene and Lincoln also asked, how interesting, Rocky, is it this time of year when you're having to work around kids going to play in the World Juniors and the Junior A? At the same time, how beneficial is it for the future roster growth and experience?
It's a great question by Gene. And you know what? It's a blessing and a curse because, we have Tanner, obviously. We only lost 1 guy to the Junior Challenge team. Fargo lost 3.
Yeah. Wish we'd gotten them a week later.
Yeah. I mean, we still found a way to beat them. But yeah, Fargo lost 3. We only lost 1. But then you lose, Clavs is gone for Latvia. Marian Moscow leaves tomorrow or the next day for Slovakia. We thought we were going to lose Cameron Whitehead. We got lucky and that didn't happen. Last year we lost Caden Iberico. But this is the first year in a few years that the Junior A Challenge is back. It would be great if these events didn't overlap because then you wouldn't be losing all these guys at once.
Yeah.
If the Junior Challenge was a month or so earlier, then it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But then you add in, oh, by the way, Doug's hurt. And oh, by the way, Raf's hurt. Like, oh, by the way, Jimmy's hurt. So it's not one of those things where you just lost 2 guys or 3 guys and you've got all those other guys readily and available. They're out too. So you start short and then the good part is, the glass half full part is, you do bring in Jack Edwards, and we are bringing Jack Picard back this weekend. He's going to play. Jack Severson. We got all Jacks. Jack
That's
Severson.
all the additions are all Jack's own,
Yeah,
right? That's the requirement.
And I think you have Jack Larrigan on the show tonight.
Yeah, he's
right?
coming
So my grandpa's name was Jack. But
you don't have a type though, right?
No,
The
not
type
on
player.
purpose. But so Jack Severson comes in, and he's a member of our team in North Iowa, and he was able to play really good this weekend. Unfortunately, Justin Mexico got hurt. Man, he was playing so good before he got hurt. I feel so bad for that kid. So those guys do get a taste, and we're fortunate because we have that North American League team that, Mr. Fernandez had some foresight and said, hey, I already own this North American League team. I own this NA3 team. I'm going to buy this USHL team. Let's build this U18 team. Let's create this hierarchy where we can start to have players work their way up. And we've seen Matt Vandervoort come in, and he started the year in Mason City. We had Carter Davis for a bit. He spent time down there. Pavel Hiltonen's on our affiliate list. He's down there. So, it's worked really well that we've been able to utilize those players and fill some holes when we need to.
We saw a AAA player, Mike Barron, sign a tender with North Iowa as well. It's really neat, like you said, almost to see that feeder system coming through as well. So that's been a ton of fun to watch here. Chatting Lincoln Stars hockey here on Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's. We've been talking a little bit about the hypotheticals of the schedule, but Gene beat me to it, actually, talking about the World Junior A and the World Junior Championship coming up. I wanted to ask you about that, Rocky. You've got several guys throughout it who you've coached before or are currently coaching, in Tanner Ludke's case as well, and Klobs, and then maybe Marian if he can make the team for Slovakia. How fun is that to kind of, maybe check the scores and see how a guy's doing like Tanner? He's playing right now.
He's playing right now. I was looking before the show started. They were up 3-0. It's such a unique opportunity to represent your country. I was fortunate enough to go to Sochi, Russia, a couple years ago for the Serious World Junior Cup in August, and that was an incredible experience to be able to coach in an international event, represent the United States and the North American Hockey League at the time, and so I know how special it is. So when we get these request letters for these guys to go, of course you're going to say yes. You would never want to hold them back. Last year, Yu Sato went and played for Japan. Obviously, Caden Mbereko was the starting goalie for the U.S. team this summer. They canceled the tournament last year. Caden was actually one of the guys that had COVID, and he called me and he's like, "Coach, I tested positive. I have 0 symptoms." He's like, "I feel completely fine. Like, I don't even so much as have a runny nose." And, we've learned so much about that in the course of the last 12 months and 18 months. But that tournament went off in the summer, and being able to watch Caden play, and it was spectacular. And I suspect he'll be the starting goalie for them again this year, which is just awesome. Caden's such a wonderful kid that anytime you get to see him have success on an international stage, it's special. And we got to watch Clavs this summer. We had drafted him and watched him on video, but to be able to watch him on the NHL network banging home one-timers from that same spot that he's doing it now in the ice box is pretty cool. And optimistically, Marion makes the team as well, and he gets an opportunity. So it's all part of the deal. When you're coaching high-end players, they're going to get opportunities to do this other stuff. Now, it really hurt us in the playoffs because of the U18 World Championships, and all of a sudden Michael Mastrodomenico's gone to play for Canada, and we really could have used him in that series against Waterloo. So, the timing of some of these events is a bit questionable, I guess, when you look at it. World Juniors is what it is. That's the pinnacle event. And I think they do it at the right time because it's in the middle of the season. It's during the Christmas holiday. You're not going to really rip a kid away from the schedule. Now, Latvia flew all the kids back to Latvia. And I talked to their assistant coach. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, Moscow's going to Slovakia's camp in Canada 6 days later. Like, Clavs could have played on Saturday if he just would have stuck around another day. And silly me, I should have just told him, no, you're going to stay one more day, and then you go and you join the camp, because the tournament doesn't start until December 26th. So these guys, they miss a handful of games before Christmas. They miss a handful of games after Christmas. Clavs will miss 2, 3, 4, 6 or 7 games by the time he's done with that tournament. So that's a big chunk of the season when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. And it's one of the things I think you look at. It is exciting, but it's just it'd be interesting if it could be in the summer. I wonder that, but it's hard to say, why would you pull it away from the heart of hockey season?
Well, I think you saw it this summer, and the diehard fan still enjoyed it, right? I still watched every game, but it's a Christmas tradition a little bit. Like, for years and years, the day after Christmas was, my dad had the NHL network on the DirecTV, and he knew, like, the day after Christmas, the World Junior Tournament was on, and my stepmom was even laughing because she's like, "When's the hockey game come on?" And we were watching all the games, not just the U.S. games. So I love having it during that downtime and being able to watch it. Now it's not really downtime for us because we play on the 30th and the 31st, but just such a special experience for those kids. I wish them nothing but the best. And Latvia managed to win a game in the last tournament. Yeah. They stayed in the top bracket. So that program and that nation's growing. But obviously, the Finlands and the Swedens and the Canadians and the US are always the powerhouse teams. And you're watching high-end draft picks. You're watching big-time college players and guys that are going to play in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun for Stars fans wondering with one to watch. Clavs Weinberg's his first game with Latvia is against the U.S. on the 26th. So I know a lot of people will be watching that one. We'll take a quick break here. We'll have more in a moment on Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's. Henry Nelson and Jack Larrigan will join us next. This is 93.7 The Ticket.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and cash back used sport items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and vehicles, and bench and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Played Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays, ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West.
Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with it, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84 Mercado.com.
Lincoln or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Decking the halls with boughs of holly sound great until you're the one who has to do it. Take the stress out of your holiday parties this year and host your gatherings at Suite A Events by Mary Ellen's. Suite A is the perfect place for your year-end company parties or other large gatherings. Suite A and Mary Ellen's can handle the food, the desserts, the decorations, and of course, those holiday spirits. See for yourself online at SuiteAEvents.com or at 27th and Pine Lake, right next to Food for the Soul.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right, they're hiring for production operator at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker On Radio Show from 8 to 9 a.m.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo, Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 TheTicketFM.com.
And welcome back into Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, and we're joined by Stars forward Jack Larrigan, as well as Stars defenseman Henry Nelson, a couple of Notre Dame commits. And no, this wasn't intentional, getting them both at the same time. But guys, I have to tell you, I'm a bit of a Notre Dame fan. My dad went there, so I always tell him, I make a point to try to mention the Notre Dame commits when he listens, but so he knows. I want to start with that for you guys. Why'd you choose Notre Dame as a college you wanted to commit to? Let's start with you, Jack.
Yeah, I'll go first. Well, I've always kind of been a Notre Dame fan growing up. There's pictures of me, as a toddler wearing Notre Dame shirts. But when it really comes down to it, it's the best combination of school and hockey that you can get out there in college hockey. So, it's really a no-brainer when they came to me and then offered a scholarship, and I was really happy to accept, and I'm excited for the future.
How about you, Henry?
Yeah, for sure. Going off what Jack said, the school is a big part of that. Went into my decision to choose Notre Dame, and along with the hockey is great too. So I'm super excited to go there. And growing up, I went to a few camps there, and some of my buddies are there now, and they say it's a lot of fun. So I'm really
cool.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, we had a member last year, and Michael Mastrodomenico was there. I imagine you guys probably talk with him about that every once in a while. What's he say about it? Does he enjoy it there?
Yeah, he loves it. Being on the team with Master last year, he's a great dude. I met him last year, and then I'm excited to go to school with him, so it'll be fun.
We have had a lot of if you've been a fan of the Lincoln Stars the last few weeks, you've probably been hearing about guys committing to colleges, and I imagine a lot of people wonder about that process. What's that like for you guys? You mentioned you get offered scholarships. Are you seeking colleges out? They come into you? Are you choosing between a couple different options? Jack, start me off with that. What's that like, choosing between colleges?
Yeah, I think, the process of choosing a school is, it's really, it can be fun, like thinking about where you want to go. We have guys that just, committed here, like, in the past few weeks, and talking with them, they just said, if there's teams that reach out to them, they'll, talk with them over the phone, go on visits, kind of see, what they gel with the best. I ended up, the guys like Jared and Klavs, took the schools they thought was best for them. So I think it kind of just comes down to personal preference and what you're looking for in a school.
What about you, Henry?
Yeah, going off that, I think it's important of what you want, and I think with me making the decision with my parents and other family, and my younger brother just actually committed there a few months ago, so it'll be fun to go to school with him, and I know my parents are excited about that, so they have to go to 2 different rinks. So
that's pretty funny.
It'll be fun.
How much younger is he than you?
He is an 05.
05,
yeah,
okay.
So
that's right there then. That's not bad. So, Jack, you brought up about a couple of the other guys committing. For guys on this team who haven't committed or were just about to, were they talking to guys like you guys? Were they talking to their teammates about, hey, what do you think about this? You've already committed to a school, or what was this process like for you? Does that ever happen?
I wouldn't say it's too often. I think maybe if there's a guy that's already committed to a school and that school's reaching out to, one of our teammates that isn't committed yet, I think, from there they'll go forward and ask about, kind of about the facilities, coaches, all that type of stuff. But I think typically it really just comes down to what, that player wants and, everything that evolves around that.
Makes sense as well. We're chatting Lincoln Stars hockey here on Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. Lincoln is taking on Tri-City this weekend at home on Friday. Teddy Bear Toss night, 7:05 p.m. game, and then on Saturday on the road at 7:05 p.m. as well at the Viero Center. Now, guys, I want to talk to you about the Teddy Bear Toss night. Rocky was saying that sometimes there's a little bit of pressure with hosting the Teddy Bear Toss night. I'm sure it's more fun on the road. It motivates you more maybe to try and shut a team out. But have you guys, you were here last year, have you been part of these enough times that it's something that it doesn't bother you, you don't feel a pressure, or is it something you kind of walk in, you feel the energy of the building? I'll start with you, Henry.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's an added pressure, maybe a little bit for the team to get that first one, and I know everyone on the ice wants to get that first one so all the Teddy Bears come on the ice. But playing it last year is pretty cool, and I know we have great fans in Lincoln here, so I know there's gonna be a lot of Bears on the ice, hopefully.
Jack, what about you? Do you feel any pressure with that?
Yeah, I think it's just not necessarily pressure. It's kind of fun to play, and whenever you get a chance to play in a Teddy Bear Toss game, it's really fun. And I think a lot of guys have a little personal competition between who's gonna, get the first goal. Me and my lineman right now, Keaton Peters, we've been kind of going at it this week, joking about it. But as long as we get the win, that's all that really matters. So
You led into my next question. I was going to say, do you guys talk about that with teammates? What's that discussion been like with Keaton?
Yeah, we just, we have fun with it. We just we'll chirp each other in practice. If he misses the net or, gets a save, give it to him about he's not scoring Friday night, but, it's all just fun.
It's worth mentioning to fans, Keaton Peters leads the Stars in goals at home. He's got 7 on home ice, 10 overall. That's second to Tanner Ludke, who has 11. Has there been one guy on the team who's kind of said something? Is it been Keaton? Has it been someone else who's kind of said, hey, I'm getting that goal Friday? You guys noticed anyone?
I think it's kind of been a few guys maybe, but
you can air the dirty laundry with it. That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a few guys like Marcellus thinks he's getting it. But,
okay.
I don't. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely Mason thinks he's gonna, but I don't know. We'll see about that.
Anyone else who's really said, I think I'm gonna do it? Has it just kind of been him? Maybe a little bit of Keaton.
Yeah.
I like to think that I might sneak in there.
Might get one.
At least get the assist and playing with Keaton. Maybe we'll come together for that goal, but hopefully it'll happen.
Jack, you've got 3 goals on the season, and your most recent one, I was excited because one, it was a shorthanded goal. That was exciting, and I was especially excited because it was like your most normal goal so far.
Yeah,
your first goal of the season ricochets off of your body, goes in. We take them; they all count the same. Second one, empty netter. The third one is right out the draw. It was this past Friday against Sioux Falls. You guys were shorthanded, ozone draw. Keaton Peters wins the draw right back to you. Great wrist shot from you. How did you have a moment after that? You went, okay, that's a little more like it. That's how I want to score goals.
I think definitely for sure. I mean, they don't ask how, they ask how many.
Yeah.
But definitely when you get finally a good goal like that, where you actually shoot it in the net instead of having an empty net or have it go off a body part. But I'm happy with any goal that I get. I'll take any goal, but that one definitely felt good, especially to tie it up there in the third and then end up coming away with the win. It was a huge one.
It was a huge one. That was a fun game. That was one of my favorite games of this season to this point, to be honest. And I thought it was so funny that it was shorthanded because earlier in the night, Tanner Ludke he scored a shorthanded goal. But for Team USA in the World Junior A, I tweeted something that night. I said, wow, it's ironic. He gets one his first game away from the Stars. They haven't done it.
Yeah.
Not even a period later, you guys get one as well. Take me through the emotions of Friday night's game. That was up, it was down, it was all over the place. I'll start with you, Henry.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was their teddy bear toss night too.
Yep.
So when they scored their first one, all the fans threw bears on ice, and I think maybe we got a little down there when we had to sit there and watch them clean it up. But it's always fun to go into that building. They have a sweet rink up in Sioux Falls, so it's a lot of fun playing there.
It was a fun night with the Teddy Bears. There was a little extra energy. I felt like you guys were definitely motivated to get the win. And Jack, your goal was huge because that made things a little bit easier for you guys. Ties it up and then sets the stage eventually for the game winner. Take me through the emotions on the bench going in the third period because you guys were down 2-1 at the time.
Yeah. I think Rocky even came in the locker room and he was talking about how we have all these guys out. Tanner's out. Mason's playing, not 100%. Dougie's out. So he really was just, encouraging us to step up here and, wanting us to realize the opportunity that we have to, pull away with this game. And, going into that third period, we were really determined, I think. And, it showed on the ice when, we showed a lot of perseverance coming down from behind and going into the third and, ended up tying up and getting the game winner late. It was a huge one for us. So
that was an emotional one. I thought it was really fitting that Mason scored that goal that night because Rocky was saying to me, and you guys were in the locker room, so, correct me if I'm wrong. He was saying that he really challenged guys to step up in a leadership role. So, of course, the captain in his first game back gets the game winner. How thrilled were you guys for him when that happened, Henry?
Yeah, it was great. You never want to see anyone out, but especially when it's Mason. We all want him playing. He's a great player, and it was huge. He had a great game, and we kind of had the feeling that Mason was going to do something special and score there, so it was good for him and the team.
It was so cool seeing that, and then after the game, he's already iced up, and it's just like you could tell he was fighting through it, but it really came through big. Now let's shift our focus to this past Saturday. It felt like you guys that first period you were riding high from the emotions of Friday night. Got off to the start you wanted. It's 2-0 after one. Then things kind of go the other way. What went wrong this past Saturday, did you guys think? I'll start with you, Jack.
Yeah, I think we definitely got a little too comfortable. Coming out of that first period, going into the second, I think we got a little complacent. And that definitely, led to, their comeback and, they kept gaining momentum slowly throughout the game. And, we weren't really doing anything to correct it. And, it ends up, working out in their favor in the end, with the OT game winner. But I think just, the way to correct that is just, we got to stay dialed going into this week of practice, and, definitely won't let those thoughts of complacency creep in for this weekend for sure.
This past Saturday was the first time this season the Stars went to overtime. They fell 3-2 to Tri-City. And, Henry, I remember seeing the line chart before that game for Tri-City. 15 skaters. They were banged up. They were sick. They had some suspensions. What was Ronke's message to you guys in the locker room, saying, that they're banged up, I imagine, but is he still saying we still got to take advantage?
Yeah, I think there's still a good team. Every team in this league's good. And I think sometimes teams play with more urgency and hunger because they're down guys, but we got to still play our game and take control of the game and keep on them, even though they're down forwards and deep. But I think when we went up 2-0 in the first period, we kind of felt relaxed, and but we got to stay on them next time and keep putting the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, next time's going to be this weekend, Friday night, of course, hosting Tri-City 7:05 Teddy Bear Toss night at the Icebox. And, of course, we hope to see plenty of fans for that one. Bring a teddy bear to the game, toss it on the ice when, not if, when the Stars score their first goal. We were talking with Rocky about that, and he said there was one time he was with Amarillo and they got shut out. So that would be the worst night of the year to be shut out on.
That won't happen.
Not going to be this Friday. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more. This is Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's on 93.7 The Ticket.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting the Pilgrim Group gift. Our heart special is back. When you receive a $5 per $100 card, receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, Cactus, and all Lincoln Goods and Subs. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports.
Teal from Nebraska. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. Electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
And now a letter to Santa from the world of Yum.
Dear Santa, hi, how are you? I am well. Let's get to it. This year, Beatrice Bakery cakes for everyone. For my mom, apple streusel cake. For my dad, definitely the turtle nut cake. For my brother Jimmy, how about some of those chocolate-covered fruitcake squares? And maybe a couple of those for me too? In fact, give me more than you give him. For Mrs. Swanson at school, the chocolate...
Check out Grandma's fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
At Allo, we think you deserve the fiber things in life, like binging your favorite TV shows and movies buffer-free, next level, lag-free gaming, and video calls without frozen faces. So say goodbye to lag and buffering and hello to super fast fiber internet with dedicated 24/7 support for total peace of mind. Plus, no hidden fees, no expiration dates, and no contracts, ever. From dependable service to exceptional support, experience the fiber things with Allo. Go to allofiber.com/fiberthings and switch today.
What does continuing education mean to you? At Southeast Community College, it means helping you advance. Whether that's a certification to help your current career or learning an entirely new career in healthcare, trades industry, or computers and technology, SCC can help you take the next step. Financial assistance is available too. Learn more about our continuing ed classes at southeast.edu/continuing education. SCC, your path to personal and professional development.
Trendy or traditional, Gary Michaels Clothiers specializes in men's tailored clothing. Off the rack or custom made to measure, there is simply no better shopping experience. Offering designer furnishings, sport shoes, outerwear, and accessories for a man always concerned at looking his best. With world-class tailoring and personal service, all makes Gary Michaels Clothiers Nebraska's premier store for men. Come visit us now at Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
You're looking for a solid, CNC machining or injection molding, we got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7ticketfm.com.
And welcome back into Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, Lincoln Stars broadcaster. We're joined by Stars defenseman Henry Nelson and forward Jack Larrigan. We were just talking a little bit off air about and we talked about on air when Rocky was on earlier, talking about how the schedule works. And guys, you're getting a few more cracks at Tri-City. I feel like 2 weeks don't go by with at least one game against Tri-City.
Sure.
But we're in the middle of a stretch where 3 consecutive games are being played against them. 4 of 5 are against them. So right after the holiday break, you get a chance to face them again. What's that like, seeing a team so many times?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, you get under each other's skins for sure. Playing them so many times. I think we play them 15 times this year probably.
Right about, I think 14.
And, but it'll be good. I think to get another crack at them after Saturday night's game right away. And the next weekend it'll be fun, and I think we're looking forward to it.
Jack, do you start to see things on the ice and you guys are just like, okay, we've seen this before?
Yeah, I think you start to pick up on teams' tendencies, when you play them so much like, we are with Tri-City right now. Definitely pick up on some of the things they like to do, whether if it's small or big, and we'll make adjustments to that and use it to our advantage.
Henry, I got a chance to talk with Jack about his goal a little bit ago. I want to talk about yours from a couple of weeks ago against Fargo. Game number 2 coming back. You missed the first 18 games of the season due to injury, and that was obviously a big one. Power play goal ended up being the game winner. How exciting was that?
Yeah, it was super cool to be back and helping out the boys, getting the goal there, and it was really exciting. It was a long road after surgery, and it's cool. My dad came down to watch those games too, and it was good to see him a little bit. And it was a good point in the game to score. So,
Jack, how much do you guys celebrate each other's moments like that? You knew what Henry had been through. He was there for so long as a bystander, best video guy in the league. For a few weeks there, he had to give up his title.
That's what Art said.
But so what's that like, celebrating for guys in like a situation like that?
Yeah, I think definitely like all guys are really happy. When everyone has success on the team. But, I think when Henry scored that goal, everyone knows what he's been through, leading up to it. And I think it was, a little extra special just, for him to get that one. I'm sure it felt nice. So, it was definitely good.
It sure seemed like it. You guys were pretty fired up. The bench was just in the moment, and that was an emotional victory as well. As we mentioned, Stars are home this Friday night. They host the Tri-City Storm, 7:05 p.m. for Teddy Bear Toss Night. And maybe, let's put this out here now. I told you guys who's been wanting it. I want to get your prediction. You can predict yourself. Who's going to get the goal to get the Teddy Bears tossed onto the ice? I'll start with you, Henry. I put you on the spot, I know, but I want to see. Just give me a prediction of which guy. Maybe it's yourself, but give me someone who you think is going to get the job done Friday night.
You go DJ Hart. He's going to score. Yeah.
Okay. Fellow defenseman. Jack, who are you thinking?
It's a tough one.
Oh, actually, I got to change.
You're changing yours. Okay.
You're changing it? Or you go first. You go first.
Adam Kluber.
He's gonna first of the year then.
First of the
year. That would be his
Good
first. Okay. Go ahead, Jack. Who do you think?
Trying to be careful here.
We will be pulling this up later, especially if it happens. So I want it on record.
I'm gonna go Carson Bidens.
Carson Bidens.
I think we'll get a dirty one in front of the net.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got one this season. Adam doesn't have one yet. So that would be crazy if he did. It would be Carson's first at home.
Yeah.
So that would be really exciting to see as well. So we're really looking forward to that. We hope to see plenty of fans of that one. As I mentioned, bring a teddy bear, 3, 4, 5. We got some fans who are going to stalk the North Zone stage with them. We've already seen pictures of what that's going to be like. Big Bears down, toss them on the ice when the Stars score their first goal. Jack, Henry, thanks for joining us, and go get them this weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Jack Larrigan and Henry Nelson joining me. This has been Outside the Box, being brought to you by Raising Cane's here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, and we will talk to you in a couple of weeks.